Hello, welcome to Soulprint Insights. Thank you for being here today. Um, I want to just chat today. I just want to have a little talk about positive energies, keeping things positive, and keeping yourself in a place where you are just centered. Um, and you just have a little bit more feeling of stability and balance because these times are unbalancing, right? I mean, it's very hard to stay centered with the energy, um, certainly that's flying around the world, but specifically that energy that is exponentially growing um, in the United States. Before I get there, I was referred to a um, a YouTube site, Kelly Ferguson Readings. Kelly Ferguson Readings, and she did, um, and she just released it, I believe, a video called Crystals 101. And so I popped over there, I checked it out. I like her style. It's simple, it's not complicated. She just explains what's what and how she's doing it and why. So for those of you who are still focusing and focused on crystals, I suggest you check her out. Okay, so that's my little shout out to Kelly, but I enjoyed her, so maybe you will. She's a brand new channel, so let's go on over and give her a bit of support. All right, donors. Thank you so much for people who donate to me. I can't tell you, words fail me because it is such a humbling feeling that I am appreciated, and to the point where people literally make little sacrifices in their life so that they can support the Soulprint channel. And so thank you ever so much. And of course, for everybody who likes and subscribes and shares and comments, you're all fabulous. Okay, so let's just focus in a little bit here and let's have a little talk about just energy. So energy is energy, right? It's neither good nor bad, positive or negative. It is simply energy. When you infuse an emotion or an intention to energy that you are sending out, that is when that energy starts it starts to create with more of whatever that is. So if you're angry, that's what gets amplified. If you are positive and hopeful, that is what gets amplified. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And lots of times we really are not even aware of how that energy is impacting us. But I think probably everybody has had an experience in their life where they are bopping along, everything is just fine in their world. You walk through a door and the energy of the room just slams into you. And you don't have, if that energy is not positive, it is a lower vibrational energy, it will leak out the positive energy that you just had. Okay, now if the energy is strong enough, you can walk into that door, through that door, feel that lower vibration energy, and start infusing the room with positive energy. But it's a heavy lift, right? Because if there's 5 people in the room all being upset and worried or scared, whatever they are, it's really hard to whip up enough energy to get the situation elevated, but it's not impossible. And nor am I suggesting at all that that is your function, okay? I'm just saying there's times that we're aware of the energy and how it's affecting us, and sometimes it's affecting us, and we're not as aware, we're not paying attention as closely. So there are things that are going on in the world, and there are feelings that a lot of those things need to change. When you are incorporating change into your world, it is really important that you stand in that energy. It is really important that you take whatever that is that you're wanting to manifest or create or enhance, and you own it. You hold it. It's not flaky energy. It's not wishing and hoping. It's more solid than that. Sorry about that. Okay, so how do you stay positive? How do you surround yourself in that positive energy? Well, there are really quick ways that you can do this kind of stuff, right? You can just envision something that makes you happy and lifts up your spirits. You can meditate, you can go for a walk, whatever it is that resonates with you in terms of this is one of the ways I just allow stress to release. And do those things and do them with consistency so that you are constantly feeding that well of feel good, stable energy. There are crystals, of course, that will help, ground you. And we have spoken of some of them in the crystal videos that Paul and I did. But generally speaking, crystals that are smoky colors, dark blacks, browns, dark reds, those can all be really effective grounding tools, as can, of course, clear quartz. So keep that around you and set the crystal with the intention that this is like going to be like my worry crystal, or this is going to be the crystal that fills me with happy thoughts. Okay, set the intention, work with the crystal. It is important to always remember that energy is perpetually in motion. It doesn't stop, it doesn't slow down. It's just there. And it's important to understand that as the energy impacts you, you impact it. Okay? So, if you're hearing stuff, frankly, on television or on the radio, media, tech, wherever you're getting your information from, you need to be really mindful about whether the information you're taking in is reliable, it is accurate, and most important at this point in time, that it even makes sense. Okay? And when you're taking in information, you want to connect with your solar plexus. You want to connect with that part of you that really does sort of, know the truth. And see how that energy is making you feel. And if what that source, whatever it is, and that energy is making you feel, and it's making you uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't sound right, well, listen to yourself, right? There's always a tendency, for some reason, we are that culture that slows down to look at somebody else's car crash. So we seem to, on some level, just be attracted to lower energy, to negative energy. And we tend to absorb it very, very quickly. And that needs to stop, okay? Because the more of that goes on, remember, you're always sending out energy. It's just whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. And if you're sending out a whole bunch of energy that is stressed and angry and worried and frustrated, it goes out, it finds more like it, and it comes back to you. And I don't know why but I just know it's true that the universe honestly does not deal in negatives. So, I don't want, get rid of, can't stand. Find other words, find words that are positive, because it is the positive energy that needs to be amplified. It is the positive energy that burns so strong, it allows the shadows to dissipate. And this is effective whether you are in your home and you're just trying to get in touch with yourself to simply see, see if you how much energy you have in a day, or what it is your body actually requires for fuel, as opposed to what you think you might throw together. um, we when we tap into ourselves and we use the energy that is our essence, we get so much more clarity. And of course, with clarity comes more clarity. The more clarity you have, the more you are able to lift and elevate yourself into that, again, that light filled experience. You can't have shadows, and things can't go on in the shadows if the light is shining on them and there is no shadow. And this, as I said, it applies to every part of your life. It applies to what you watch on television, what media you take in. It applies to how you feel in any given moment. It applies to your ability to stay in a place that clears out that which is a lower vibration and increases that which is going to work in a more positive way. Certainly over the next while, I am sorry to say this, but over the next while, not only is there going to be a surge in the coronavirus cases in the United States, frankly, I mean, there it just is surging from spot to spot. It's just moving right through the country. For other countries that have sort of got this thing under control, or got a good handle on it, you're going to start seeing some upticks. Maybe it'll be September, maybe it'll be October, but you're going to see it. And again, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, you want to start preparing yourself for the fact that you're not going to fall into panic and fear. And I know there's a lot of it out there, and I know a lot of you feel panic and you feel fear, and you are worried about those you love and care about. I'm not saying, and you don't disregard those feelings, you feel them, you acknowledge them, but then you move in to surround and replace them with something more positive and affirmative. That's sort of the secret. You don't deny your feelings, because no good comes from stuffing your feelings, ever. Doesn't work, it's not effective, don't do it. So you feel it. This makes me incredibly angry. This makes me really sad. I am now going to cry for 5 minutes because, okay, that's fine. You do that. But then you take a step back and you figure out what you can use to boost the energy of the place you are in that moment. So maybe you want to listen to some music that inspires you, or music that just lifts you up and gets you dancing. Whether that is crystal work or energy work, color therapy, whether it's just going outside and enjoying the sun, listening to the birds. But you want to replace that sort of lower vibrational energy, feel it, and then prepare to release it and fill it with light-filled energy. It is such an effective way to function. And the next several months are going to really, really require that people do not sink into sort of the quagmire. And the thing is, and I'm not going to go all political here, but I am going to say the thing is there's a whole lot of energy out there that is very combative. And you want to, neutralize that as much as you can in your own world, and by extension, send some of that neutralizing energy out. so that perhaps it can help others in other situations. But the need to be more in tune and focused and aware of how we're feeling and how we're reacting to the stimuli around us is going to become incredibly, incredibly important. And so I really encourage you to take some time and, just sort of maybe get sort of like an emergency survival pack together. And maybe in that is, some of your favorite music, or a book that you really love reading, or, little coupons that you make for yourself that say, today you're going to treat yourself to ice cream, and today you're going to go for a walk, and today you're going to, and pull them out as you need them. There just really needs to be a concerted effort for people who are of the light to stay in the light. It is really super duper important, because it gets amplified. And whether we're consciously aware of it or we're unconsciously aware of it, it still gets amplified. So I just really, really want to remind you to stay tuned in to you. And when something feels right, that's one thing. When something doesn't feel right, pull back from it. You are being sent signals that that's not for you, or not for you right now. Okay, so what are some of the things that we can do if we're getting really good at holding this positive energy, but our mother, brother, sister, father, Aunt Harriet, Uncle Stan are having trouble? How do we share some of that energy? How do we get it to them? So again, there's like ways to lighten somebody else's load, right? Phone calls, cards in the mail, flowers, take somebody out for coffee, whatever is, applicable in the situation. But there are other really cool things that you can do that will really, really help that person be surrounded by more positive energy. So a couple of things. You can, for example, take a picture of that person, but print it out. You need it to be in physical form. And you're going to take that picture and you're going to set it down, and you're going to light a small tea light. And maybe you're going to put a couple of crystals around the picture. And you're going to light that tea light with the absolute intention that the light of the candle is now swirling in and surrounding the person that you are directing it to. If you don't have a picture, you can use, writing down their name, writing down a situation. I personally love working with candles. I really like candle energy. And so, that's sort of personally one of my favorite go-tos. If somebody needs an extra boost, they can rest assured, if I know about it, there's a candle somewhere in my house that has been lit for them. So there are sort of day-to-day things you can do, right? Like taking them out for coffee, or giving them a phone call, having a Zoom conversation with them. There are things like light work and crystal work that can be used. Praying, of course, kind of goes without saying. You can simply picture them in your mind and surround them with bright light. You can send them, and this is some of the really cool stuff that you can do if you just take a second and think about it. So picture somebody who right now is just going through a very hard time, okay? And let your heart fill up with your love and your empathy and your compassion for them, okay? And then you literally are going to hug it, because you're giving them a hug, and send it to them. And simply trust that it has been received. So give some thought to the things that you can do, not only to keep yourself centered in these difficult times, but to keep those around you. That is, you can also send them energy in a really effective and productive way. Our thoughts are incredibly, incredibly powerful. And if we set our mind to a certain specific something and we are doing it in the light with positive energy, I'm telling you, it arrives exactly where we intended to send it. All right. I hope this has been helpful. Maybe I've given you a couple of new suggestions. Perhaps it's a reminder of stuff you already know. But either way, thank you so much for joining me here at Soulprint Insights. I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, stand in your power and stand in your light. Bye-bye.